So this isn't particularly newsworthy, but this is my morning talk show, so I get to, you know, basically put whatever I want on here. We've got Lord of Atlantis as a custom altar, and it actually is a pretty flashy custom altar. I mean, this is pretty fancy looking. It almost looks like a masterpiece of some sort, but it's got a nice cartoony version of Lord of Atlantis. A master of tactics, the Lord of Atlantis makes his people bold in battle merely by arriving to lead them. But it also includes your opponent's merfolk, so it's like, I don't know how, I don't know under what circumstances the general of the opposing army, like, I don't know, gets the other army excited within a civil war. It's the Lord of Atlantis, yes! Even though we're fighting against him. Anyway, that's how it is. It's also interesting, they both... I'm just trying to think of the flavor of it all. No one can block each other if there is a Lord of Atlantis there. No one can block. It's hilarious. I mean, they're both sides are merfolk. They both swim. You would think they would be able to block, at the very least. A creature with Island Walk should be allowed to block a creature with Island Walk. Does that not make any sense? I think that makes perfect sense. It's you know, Island Walk should only work if the opponent has an island and they don't have Island Walk creatures of their own. I don't know, you know, there's a lot of flavor fails. Let me know your favorite flavor fail in the comments section below and also in chat. I mean, there has been the 15 squirrels versus an Emrakul argument. Apparently 15 tiny little squirrels equals one entire gigantic alien Eldrazi. How does Lord of Atlantis not have a Lord type? Well, it used to have a Lord type way back in the day. Those are all gone now. They've errated them. They've washed them all away. Even the modern day one still had Lord on it. Now it's nothing. So this is the most up-to-date version of Lord of Atlantis. Just says merfolk. Just merfolk. But if we can take a step back, let's go to, where's beta? Let's go back to the beta days. Oh, actually, hold on. Hold just a second there. Way back in the day, it wasn't even called Summon Lord. It was Summon Lord of Atlantis. The creature type was Lord of Atlantis. I'd like to play Plague Engineer and name Lord of Atlantis, please. Okay, at what point? Wow, it's stuck for a long time. From alpha to beta to unlimited. These are collector. Okay, here we go. Finally, we've got Summon Lord. They fixed it. I don't know what edition this is. Could be 3rd edition. This is some edition. Oh, it is revised. It's revised. So in revised, it was called a Lord. And it didn't pump itself up. What a weird world. But like, oh my god, merfolk as an archetype. I should make a history video about merfolk. It's so weird because there were no merfolk back then. There were literally 2 merfolk. There was Lord of Atlantis, and then there was merfolk of the Pearl Trident, which is just terrible. It's just a 1/1 for 1. But that was the only 2 merfolk. And Lord of Atlantis didn't even pump himself up because, as we know, he was Lord of Atlantis. His creature type was Lord of Atlantis. And all merfolk can play gain Island Walk and +1/+1. The only thing it pumped up was merfolk of the Pearl Trident back then. That was the only thing. Nothing else. And then I think the next merfolk ever printed was Merfolk Assassin. Oops, I didn't spell this quite right. The next merfolk printed was in the dark, Merfolk Assassin, which is sad. Like, was Lord of Atlantis and Merfolk of the Pearl Trident so dangerous, so powerful, that they had to print an immediate hate card against this archetype with only 2 cards? And you might wonder, like, why could you build a deck out of these 2 cards alone? Well, back then there was, well, I mean, when they originally made the game, there wasn't like a 4x card rule. You could have unlimited. You could have 8 Lord of Atlantises in your deck, 20 Merfolk of the Pearl Tridents. That could be your deck. Or you could have 12 Lord of Atlantises and a million Merfolk of the Pearl Tridents. That's how it was back then. That's how it was. Well, anyway, that's a little Oops, no, I need to go here. Anyway, I thought that was neat. This is a cool altar. I think this is really cool. I would love to see all the other staple Merfolk altered in this way. Really cool. It's like an Ixalan Lord of Atlantis, isn't it? It looks Ixalan-like. They got the scales on him. So it's like a modernized version of Lord of Atlantis. Anyway, welcome everyone to the morning show, the most interactive MTG stream on the internet, where we discuss all things Magic the Gathering. Get your questions fired up. Let's have a great discussion this morning. And also, we do Decklist review. So if you've got a 75 you'd like some feedback on, hey, submit it to us, and both myself and the community would love to give you that feedback. So brew up those cups of coffee, everyone. Let's brew up some magic this morning. Welcome to Coffee and MTG for September 16th, 2021. I am your host, Nikachu, the Merfolk Master. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, the amazing Wally, Frederick, Michael, Adrian, Papa Joe, Tybell, Stephen, Herman, Tyler Roberts, El Taco, Cheese, First Joys, Kaya, good morning, Benji Boy, Pretty Good Gaming Channel, Mike EJ, Adrian, Richard. Maybe the Lord of Atlantis fires everyone up and they want to see blood in the water? I guess so. The Lord is there, whether he's for you or against you. Either way, he either motivates you or he enrages you. Oh, it's the Lord of Atlantis! My rage makes me stronger. Good morning, Trevor, Just, Sam, P, GP. Good morning, everyone. And, well, what's a good morning without our sponsors? FusionGamingOnline.com. So the deal of the week this week, save 15% off all revised singles. I mean, this has got to be a call out to a lot of the Commander players or the Legacy players if you somehow have a metagame or if you somehow have an environment where you can still play Legacy. Wheel of Fortune, big discount. The dual lands, big discount. If you're missing that one dual land in your deck, maybe this is the time to get the discount. And you know what? If you get like heavily played, it's an additional discount. If you don't need it near mint, it's sleeved up, double sleeved up. It still does the same thing. Here's your moment. 15% off at FusionGamingOnline.com. Don't forget, use coupon code Nikachu for an additional 5% off. You're never going to get a better deal than that. Actually, that's not true. They actually have some pretty good deals around Christmas. You can get up to like 25% off at Christmas, but it's never guaranteed what's going to be there because everyone's going after those deals. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place to rent Magic cards online. And with the new Innistrad Midnight Hunt set coming out, people are going to be experimenting with a lot of new brews. And if you want to try out the new archetypes that are going to emerge from this metagame, or you just want to play the next hot thing, and who knows what is that next hot thing? You can never predict it, so you can't buy into your deck assuming this is going to be the best deck for forever. But you can assume that if you rent cards with Mana Traders, you just borrow the deck, something better comes along, you send it back, you borrow another one. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below. Save 15% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu. And you know the drill. 3 question marks before the question, 3 question marks after the question. Helps me find your questions amongst all the comments I'm getting on all my social media channels. But if you are on YouTube at Nikachu MTG Streams, you can cheat the system with Super Chats. Donate with the Super Chat and your question gets pushed to the top of the feed. So how are we starting this morning off? Slaughter Specialist for Modern Vampires. Lorenzo in there early with the question. What is this? Slaughter Specialist. Must specialize in slaughtering. I see all of you on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube. Good morning, everyone. So we have Slaughter Specialist, a 2-mana... 2-mana 3/3 is already pretty good by itself. When Slaughter Specialist enters the battlefield, each opponent creates a 1/1 white human creature token. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Slaughter Specialist. This thing's terrible. I don't like it. I don't like it. You give your opponent value, and like you have to kill your opponent's stuff in order for this thing to get even bigger. Not a fan. Would have to see it. Hey, maybe it's a good card. you know, we'll let playtesting figure it out. But not a fan, just up front. Doesn't appeal to me. No, it's not Cordial Vampire in my opinion. LK says, you're good. Nobody else plays Merfolk, so worry not. You won't buff opponents' blue ones. Yeah, I know. As a Merfolk player, well, it happens though. You know, it does happen. You do get into that situation. Maybe that's why they didn't print Lord of Atlantis on MTG Arena, so that there wouldn't be that feel bad of that old mechanic. Because they don't do that anymore. They don't. There's not many sliver types anymore. That's that sliver thing where, you know, sliver enters the battlefield. All slivers get the ability. It's too bad. They should bring that. I love that part of slivers. That's the best part of slivers. The absolute wild games that you can get from sliver decks. They got to bring that back. The whole thing about buffing your own stuff, that's a Merfolk thing. We stop stealing the Merfolk stuff. That's what made slivers unique. In my opinion. Matthew says hi to the Twitter people. You can comment, Twitter folks. I don't see any Twitter comments, but you can comment too. But you gotta use the question marks. Use the question marks. Trevor Just, how many squirrels would it take to beat a wall of fire? Is it like whenever it's dealt damage, the creature dies? Apparently, well, it's gotta be one big one, I guess. But technically 5, if they could all attack it. That's a weird thing about Magic. We're not allowed to attack creatures. Would that be so bad? Would that be like a really like, I know, you know, Hearthstone has this, and maybe other TCG games have this. Like before in Magic, we are only allowed to attack the opposing planeswalker. We're allowed to attack planeswalkers, I guess. We're attack you, the opponent, who is a planeswalker. But we can also attack planeswalkers on the board. But we are not allowed to attack any other creatures? What the shit is this, right? That's weird. I think we should be allowed to. I guess it would completely defeat the point of the fight mechanic, though. But anyway. Well, you can fight, but we should when I declare combat, or sorry, when I declare my attackers, it should mean that I can attack anything. I could attack you, but I can attack the grizzly bear if I want to. It does not make any sense. Alright, what else do we got here? Is there a red merfolk like a green vampire? There is one red-blue one. What is it? Razor Verge... Razor Fin Hunter? Do I have this name right? Yes. It's a goblin. Here's the only red merfolk that I know about. Razorfin Hunter. Tap, deal 1 damage to target creature or player. It's a 2-mana 1/1. It's pathetic as hell, but whatever. It exists. Essence Flux in Pioneer Spirits. Blue or blue-white? Well, I mean, you have to go blue-white for Pioneer Spirits. All the good spirits are in white. Skyclave Apparition, Spell Queller, Selfless Spirit. This card is like, okay. I'm not in love with this card. Exile target creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. If it's a spirit, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Maybe in combination with Spell Queller, it's not Spell Queller. Skyclave Apparition, it's even better. I'm not in love with cards like this. It's hard to use this proactively. It's only a reactive card. You could use this maybe in the sideboard. This could be a sideboard card against a deck that has a lot of removal. So it's like a really cheap way to interact and also make your creature bigger. But you have to go blue-white. Mono blue spirits? Get out of here. It costs you like nothing to go blue-white. I don't know, maybe a few shock lands. The number J21. It kind of feels like werewolves didn't get much from Innistrad Midnight Hunt. Well, what's with the MID? What is that? What does that stand for? Because I know Innistrad Midnight. What is MID? 17 werewolves, then vampires got 15, and 0 mythic werewolves either. I don't know. They were scared that werewolves was going to get too strong. But you got to work with. You got to work with. You know, what can I say? When Ixalan came out, they gave out 1 million merfolk, and barely 2 of them were playable. Barely, just barely. Sam P with the super chat. Thanks for the $5. At some point, I swear I'll make a 5-color elves. Number 1. That's why. Hey, anything is possible. I made 5-color merfolk once. It wasn't great. Oh, it stands for midnight. Right. Anyway, good luck with the 5-color elves. Just play an Ether Vial version of elves. That would be weird. The humans mana base, but elves. And maybe a noble hierarch can be something else. Can be an elf itself. Darren says Force of Will has both First Strike and Death Touch, but you can only attack tap creatures. It does have a keyword that lets you attack untap creatures. Interesting. I mean, it's like every deck. Oh, there's also Jory N as the red merfolk. You know, I think I forgot about that. I think I forgot about her. Poor Jory, the Ruin Diver. You're useless. Completely useless. Yeah, there's another red merfolk. But yeah, it's a bit weird. Every other game decided, you know, you should be allowed to attack your opponent's creatures. Under some circumstances, like why not? Is that how war works? I guess it's sort. I mean, yeah. It's anyway. Whatever. Benji boy, with the super chat? Thank you very much for the $2. Do you think they'll reprint Mishra's Bauble soon? They could. Let's see. When did they could? It's possible. I mean, it's not that terrible. I mean, $12 for an uncommon. Yeah, it's a little pricey, but given that it's like the most popular uncommon in Modern, it's not unreasonable. Manamorphose has been over $20 before. Manamorphose at its height was some serious coin. Okay, we're gonna go to our favorite unreliable stock graph site, mtgstocks.com. Let's take a look at Manamorphose. Oh! Yeah, it was at $20. And that was a fucking common. That was a common. That was ridiculous. That was a $20 common. Man, if you had a bunch of bulk from like what, Shadowmoor at the time? If you had a bunch of bulk at around the Shadowmoor era, I mean, you could probably pick out a few $100 there, you know? That was some serious money. Anyway, it's pretty expensive. It's anyway, I honestly think $12 is fair. Like, could they reprint it? Yeah, if they make another master set anytime now, if they make another master set, would it be included? Probably. Like, it's good easy money in the I mean, they might make it rare at one point though. I mean, they've made it uncommon a few times, but now they might be like, you know what? I think we could make it rare at this point. Who knows what they'll do? But I think it's not unreasonable. You know, you should. I knew people who are like, I can't play this deck because the Manamorphose is $20, and I'm not spending $20 on a common. I'm not doing it. There are people like that. They exist. LK, they should bring over Atogs to Modern. Seems like Forgotten Tribe in this format. Any thoughts why? Don't we have Atogs? I swear we have something. I swear we have one. Oops, I'm in the wrong place. Okay, creature, Atog. Show me what you got in Modern. Ooh! We got something, see? We got... not loading really well. There we go. You want to make a Tog tribal? Here's your army. We've got a Tog. 1 red, 1 generic, 1/2 creature. Sacrifice an artifact. A Tog gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Then we've got Aura Tog. Sacrifice an enchantment. Aura Tog gets +2/+2 until end of turn. We got Foratog. Pay a green, sacrifice a forest. Foratog gets +2/+2 until end of turn. And then there's Megatog. If you combine all the Atogs together, you get the Megatog. At 6 mana, it's a 3/4 creature. Sacrifice an artifact. Megatog gets +3/+3 and gains trample until end of turn. This really, if you look at all these Atogs, it looks like if you combine them all, you get the Megatog. I can see the likeness in all of these. Anyway, they didn't forget about Atogs. It's just not that many of them. Not that many of them. Yeah, Nyatogs, let's go! Let's do it. You need enough artifacts and enchantments and forests in order for this deck to really go off. There's no other way. There's just no other way. Someone's gonna be inspired out there. Dr. Glassbottle, if we, the player, are planeswalkers, what does that make the walker we summon? Our friend, I guess. I don't know. It is weird, isn't it? Yeah, we're like a planeswalker and we're summoning from our library. It's like we've kept this planeswalker caged up in our cellar or something. You stay put until I need you. It is a bit weird. Nah, the flavor to this game makes no damn sense. If anything, the planeswalkers should be like companions that you summon them from like outside the game. That makes more sense. Wow, imagine that's how planeswalkers worked. They'd all be banned. Everyone gets a maybe that'd be a good thing. Everyone gets a planeswalker. You just play any planeswalker. Would anyone be for those rules or no? We for that? We adjust the companion rule that you can now have a planeswalker and anyone can choose anything that they want. I have 8 men named Teferi in my in my basement, yeah. And they're all different Teferis too, from different timelines. Yeah, Oko Companion. Oko the Companion. Trevor doesn't like this idea. Blue Eye Control wouldn't mind that, of course. Yeah, it consistently turn 3 Teferi Time Raveler every single time. Every single time. It's like, you know when your opponent plays the 3rd land drop, here comes Teferi, but you get your own Teferi, you know, so you can get your own Planeswalker, hopefully to undermine the other good Planeswalkers. I'm for that rule in the 40-card free-for-all format that we made up yesterday. No, I didn't. Well, you mean all unbanned Magic, like completely unbanned? That's a 60-card format. But yeah. Anyway, funny stuff. Funny stuff. Frederick, what it take for a no tribal creature to see play in a tribal deck like Brazen Borrow and Merfolk? Should Endurance see play in Elves? Good question. Let's go look at Endurance. I mean, the deal is this. Does it solve a problem that you need solving? The problem with these things, of course, is that it doesn't have any synergy with your deck, right? So the main question is, does it answer a problem that Elves has and you can put it in the deck? Because, yeah, it looks like you could use this in Elves really easily. Maybe this is like the main Elf card, and you could, in theory, also tutor for this if you really needed to. So I think this works really, really well. Because if you play cards like, I don't know, Relic of Progenitus, and you know you can't even play Grafdigger's Cage because that's usually against the synergy of what Elves wants to do, but you still want to interact with the graveyard, looks like Endurance is definitely your creature. I mean, the reason we play things like Brazen Borrow and Merfolk is because Mutavault mana can sometimes be clunky, so at the very least, you have something like Petty Theft that you can play on turn 2, but also you, generally speaking, have Brazen Borrow to bounce. Problematic permanents that we never had good answers to in the past, like Ensnaring Bridge, or at least, you know, it's not card disadvantage. We bounce it and we get a creature at the end of it. And also hedges against Plague Engineer. So if you hate Plague Engineer, hey, this is an elemental incarnation, so you hedge against Plague Engineer too. So so long as the card answers problems the deck has without hurting the synergy of the deck overall, I think you can play a non-elf creature. I hate those people. They're like, it's not in the tribe. It's ruining the flavor. Oh, go to hell. You do what you got to do to win. Incoming Dad, Faithful Mending is now modern legal. Thoughts? That's the new looting card, right? Let's see what happens. My thoughts are this is a good card. This is a very good card. But I think the most dangerous decks that want to play this are going to have to be in 3 colors. They got to splash like black, red. I don't know if Azorius takes advantage of this thing very well. But it's a strong card. Very, very strong. Has potential. Let's wait and see. It's the type of card I think has high upside to be busted, but also maybe will do nothing. It's still 2 mana. Like, it gains you life and loot and all that. It's still 2 mana. And the most dangerous turn to be looting is like on turn 1. In my opinion. Cactus is cool. It's Fabrian. What? I look up Fabrian. No cards available. I have no idea what this is about. Oh yeah, Dalakos. Oh, Dalakos. Okay, we've got a lot of Is It Merfolk. You know what? There didn't used to be a lot of red Merfolk. I guess they're just pumping up the red Merfolk. This guy's really useless. Or I don't know, you Commander players tell me how much you love this card. Because for competitive Magic, this guy's awful. Equip creatures you control have haste. Really? I don't care. I just don't care. Will they reprint Steel Shaper's Gift or Utopia Sprawl? They probably will reprint both. But you know what's a funny thing? Like, Cal Opad, they're not even using Steel Shaper's Gift and Hammer Time anymore. They're just not. I don't know. Maybe because it gets hit by Chalice on 1. Maybe the other, what's it called? The new creature, Ingenious Smith, is good enough. So here's a Hammer Time deck. Here's the hammer. Here's Sigarda's Aid. But where is Steel Shaper's Gift? Man, that must have been... And if it's not seeing play, the price must have crashed. Let's take a look at the price here. Look at price. MTG Stocks, you think you're the only place that has awful graphs? I'm going to take a look at MTG Goldfish. Actually, MTG Goldfish, I think, has more accurate graphs, in my opinion. Yeah, it was a big crash. Stock market crash on Steel Shaper's Gift. Some people still holding on at 5 ticks. But at its height, it was 21 ticks. Oh, wow, it went up and down twice. Wow, you could get the Steel Shaper's Gift for 3 ticks at one point. Now, there must be someone who's on top of this stuff that's like paying attention to the trends and are like waiting for certain top cards to bottom out, and then they buy them up, and then you can see it, like it got pumped, and then this is where all the speculators, they dumped. They pumped, the people pumped, and then the speculators, they dumped, and then it just went down, I think, naturally over time because of what I mean, just wasn't, whoops, it wasn't seeing play. Where am I going here? It just wasn't, it's just not seeing play like it used to. I'm sure it's in some lists or whatever. But anyway, Wizards, here's the thing with Wizards. They want to reprint the cards. People are like, oh, they don't want to reprint the cards, they're being meanies. They want to reprint the cards because they make money off of it. Like, if they can sell boxes for a lot more money, if the cards that are in demand are expensive, they can like throw them in the set. Like, it's fantastic for cards that are uncommons to be worth like $10 and $20. They're like, oh, this is easy money. Just throw them in as like even as a rare, and milk more out of the economy. They absolutely love it when cards get expensive. And they want to reprint them. The only thing that sucks is their means of reprinting it can suck. Like I said, if they make Mishra's Bauble a rare, they're reprinting it and they're going to keep the price stabilized, but it doesn't necessarily mean the price is going to go down very much. Did anyone, I mean, let's look at it. They reprinted Mishra's Bauble in Uncommon. You want to know how high this card got once? This is a hell of a story. I think this is like the largest crash I ever saw. I don't know. Is there a larger crash than this? Here's Misha's Bauble. Is a dollar for forever. Now it starts picking up some traction in some like fringe decks, but lo and behold, I think this is no. Wow, what did it see play that it got its first spike? And then here we go. The fateful era of Death Shadow pops on the scene and boom, goes to $50. $50. I remember this was $80 Canadian here. It was just ridiculous. Did Brother retire after Memnite prices tripled? No, definitely not. The question is, did he sell? Jackson wants to see a Wild Growth reprint. Your voice keeps cracking today. Is anyone else having a problem with the audio? Could be just you. No, Utopia Sprawl is already legal in Modern. I want new Enchantress Field. Well, people want reprints. That's the deal. Like, if we go to Utopia Sprawl... At the height of Bauble's prices, I trade 2 in at a GP for a bad... Wow, what a deal. What a deal. This is a hell of a... Oh, this did get reprinted. It just did get... It got reprinted, right? I mean, that's the reprint. It got reprinted just the right time, too. It got reprinted in a Commander set. Yeah, Commander Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. So, I mean, if you're looking for your Utopia Sprawl reprint, I mean, we got it. You want another one? So, in that case, Utopia Sprawl is not getting reprinted for a while. Get your Utopia Sprawls. Ben S., no, you're good. You can all hear my sexy voice. Wait till next month when Parallel Lives crashes. That reminds me of something. Oh, did it get reprinted? I didn't look at the spoiler. Did they reprint Parallel Lives? Yeah, I never left my home to go sell this damn thing. This is the only printing of the card. Thank God. I accidentally made the right decision and not sold my playset of Parallel Lives. That is so lucky. It looks exactly like what they would print in this set. Exactly. Jackson has all the Utopia Sprawls. Get him! Jackson's hoarding all the Utopia Sprawls. No wonder this card was going up. What do you think of the new Mythic Spirit? What's the new Mythic Spirit? I don't remember. I think it's a blue one, right? Oh, the Spectral Adversary. You know what? It has potential, but the more I look at it, the more clunky it looks. Like, it's just way too mana intensive for its ability. Well, but we'll wait and see. Like, 'cause you can target your own stuff, which is very valuable. It's very valuable. But so it's gonna come down to some play testing. But I would not be surprised if it just didn't work out. Can we get more Shockland reprints, Pretty Place? They are, they're in the works, right? They're in the works. The Shocklands are going to get reprinted in the next unset. So usually they're reprinting, like, really nice lands. Where are the Shocklands at? Well, let's look at Hollowed Fountain. I think Shocklands are fine. Breeding, maybe some of them, maybe some other ones are like, ooh, Breeding Pool is up there. $25 for a shock, and this is like a new Shockland. And it's been reprinted. These things have been reprinted quite a few times now. Where's an OG Dissension? $40. This is my favorite art. Thank you, Jen Ravina. I really like this art for Breeding Pool. Breeding Pool, Hollow Fountain is the only low one. Sucks to be you, blue-white control. Sucks to be you. So what are the highest ones? Parallel Lives will probably be a secret lair soon. Yeah, I better dump the. I gotta dump those. Gotta dump my Parallel Lives. Temple Garden is low. Well, what are the high ones though? Temple Garden. Yeah, this one sucks. How about Overgrown Tomb? I have so many of these. I have the ugly one though. I don't want to say I speculated on this, but like I bought a bunch of them because someone was selling them for like very little at a card store, and they needed money. So I was like, okay, I'll buy your overgrown tombs. But like the price was just absolutely flat for years. Man, maybe now's the time to like sort of get my money back. What else? Blood Crypt is a big one. $20. I don't feel like... I mean, of course they could be cheaper, but like, let's be serious, people. $15 for a land, it's not that bad. It's better than $65 for a fetch land. Like, it's really the fetch lands that are a huge problem. Because you only need like a few of these, right? But then it's the fetch lands that you need really badly. Because this is what you're gonna have more of in your deck than anything else. Can we take a look at the Blackleaf Cliffs? Yeah, let's look at Blackleaf Cliffs. Does anyone else like looking at the prices and graphs like I do? Might be boring for some people, or maybe maybe people are curious. Whoa! What happened here? I understand there might have been a supply shock. Probably some deck was really popular, and then just boom, crashes. Oh, it crashed. Wow, does that mean... Okay, so this happened during the pandemic, and for the price to fall this far, it seems like there was a lot of speculation on Blackleaf Cliffs. Because I don't know why they would why it would just crash like this so badly. It crashed hard. And then, of course, now we're getting back, and everyone wants their Blackleaf Cliffs again. James loves the graphs. Love looking at the numbers. The dredge banning caused it? Well, no, I think the pandemic crashed it. Or maybe not, actually. It was starting to fall before the pandemic. Then it actually free fell before the pandemic. Yeah, okay. So this was before... Well, I mean, the pandemic was in Asia, but it didn't reach the United States yet. Or to the West, I should say. You want to look at Uro? I imagine Uro's not that bad. Yeah, it's not terrible. Like, it still holds its value in Legacy. And this is a deck that got banned. This is a card that got banned everywhere. You are legal nowhere. Cleave's price spiked during the Hollow one and Mardu midrange. That's true. All the food decks affected Blackleaf Cliffs and Darkleaf Shores to shoot up most recently. But Darkleaf Shores never really had a home. Falling only to $20, not really falling. Hey, depends where it always depends on the height. Where it used to be. But anyway, I think the getting back, I think the shock lands are very reasonable. Maybe there needs to be a reprint because like the demand for these might go up. But I mean, I think everyone's primary problem is the fetch lands. Like even Polluted Delta is some insane money. $50 for this. You know what? If fetch lands are ever like sold again for like, or sorry, if fetch lands collapse to like $10 again, I should just buy as many as I can. I remember when this was like $8. Hold on, where was this? Okay, maybe it never hit $8. Maybe it was always around 10, 15-ish. I swear it was lower. Tancred Simone. Hey, Nikachu. I'm the artist who did the Lord. I just copied a text from an old version, I think. I'm really glad that you showed it on stream. I got Master of the Pearl Trident 2 as a custom. Well, where is it? Well, where is it? I can't see links here. Because if you post a link, I mean, I don't mind you posting the link, but I can't click links with the client that I have. I don't know, post it on Reddit. Maybe I'll show it again. So if anyway, if anyone's interested, I don't know, how can people find you if they wanted it? Here's your moment. I don't know if you sell custom altars. And is it a real card? I mean, let's go back. Is this like a real card? I don't know what I don't know what qualifies as like a legal card. Like for all I know, you completely printed over an actual Lord of Atlantis. Because clearly the text box has been replaced. Oh yeah, Lord Magicus will help coordinate everything. You post the link there, Lord Magicus gives me the link, and then I show it to everybody. It's weird, it's awkward in that way, but whatever. Memnite? Do we want to look at Memnite as a stonk? Oh wow, you guys weren't kidding. Memnite went up big time. This is a stupid card. I guess it's because it saw play in Affinity and Hammer Time. That's why this card went crazy, but like Affinity's going down, so will Memnite. And Memnite gonna go down to the ground. Windswept Heath is the fetch that hit $8? Okay. No one believed in you, Windswept Heath. No one believed in you. Well, according to this site, it didn't. I want to believe, though, it did. Well, what was the market? Market's basically the same thing. That's an expensive egg. Could you explain the deck name Mono Blue Shitters? It's like, it's... Where's the... Okay, maybe I can find a deck list for you. But it's basically a standard deck that was just a bunch of one-drop blue creatures and and it was protected by a bunch of blue spells. It was like almost like a Delver deck in standard. In fact, I'm just gonna Google Mono Blue Shitters and see what we get. They're standard Mono Blue aggro. Take all my cookies. This is not quite the same thing. Sure, let's look at one of these. Close enough. Can we see pictures? So it's essentially like tiny creatures. This isn't it though. It was smaller it was just a bunch of one drops really, and then the djinn, or the djinn, the genie. Do I have to go further? Oh, here we go. Autumn Burchat will have it. There we go. This is the Mono Blue Shitters deck. It was just a bunch of one drops and then the Tempest Djinn. And it was backed up by like a bunch of protection and disruption. Counter spells, stuff like that. That's Mono Blue Shitters. Those stupid little shitters. It was annoying to lose to that deck. It's not legal, of course, just for aesthetic. Oh, so we can't play it in tournaments? Well, you gotta change it in a way, some way. Well, do you not have a way of... Because if you preserve the power and toughness, the most of the name, and the creature type, I mean, you don't need that much, but you just need enough that it remains legal in a tournament, and then you just, like, I don't know, do you use a computer and then you just print on top of it? You just got to avoid, like, you got to keep the name and the mana cost and some information, and boom, it would be legal. We need it to be legal. People play this stuff in tournaments, you know. But anyway, thanks for letting us know. Yeah, but why shitters? It sounds so funny. That's just what they started calling it on Twitter, as far as I know. There was like these damn little blue shitters, and then they ended up calling it, it just caught on. It just became Mono Blue Shitters. GP, I have that deck in Pioneer version. It's pretty solid with the Genie and the counters. Nice. Can adapt to Pioneer. Are you familiar with the famous Canadian interviewer Nardwar? No. Oh, I'm not familiar with the name. Maybe I'm familiar with them, but I don't know what their name is. Is Hex Parasite a big stock market crash? Nah, this doesn't look that big. It's had its ups and downs. Casper Soul, I've been carrying my pistol for months at local game stores despite people's feelings. Do you think it's an appropriate place to carry when most of us have thousands of dollars in cards on us while unarmed? Yeah, no, I would not carry anything. I mean, personally, I'm a no guns person. I don't think... I mean, I understand that there should be security, especially at GPs. I would actually feel more comfortable that they had, like, I don't know, security guards at GPs, because if any outsider knew that there were, like, thousands and thousands of dollars there. So, but I would really have it on the store's part to, or you have to be insured or something. Like, you got to be putting yourself in a situation that if the deck gets stolen, then you can recoup the loss. But no, I don't believe it. I don't believe in carrying anything to go to a local game store. I mean, it's because, like, there's a lot of other things that can go wrong now that you bring a weapon to an event. Yeah, where are you playing, my friend, that you feel that unsafe? Exactly. Play somewhere else. Sounds like, well, I don't know. If you're playing with a bunch of Mafia members in the underground MTG tournament circuit, maybe it's okay, because everyone else will be doing the same. But, like, I think for the most part, your cards are not going to... You're not going to lose your cards over someone physically fighting you over them. I've never heard of that. I have never heard someone, they went to the store and they went to go fight someone to take their cards by physical force. 99.99% of the time, you're going to lose your cards because someone stole them, because you turned your head the other way, you went to the washroom, you left them on a table. That's how people lose their cards. That's why I never do that. I never do. And here's another thing. Like, don't even trust your friends to do that either. Like, under very rare circumstance, like, I would have to be certain my friend is going to be sitting at the table going nowhere, doing nothing, for me to leave my cards there. Because, like, I've seen situations where, you know, a friend was in charge of someone's cards, and then they just walked away from the table because they forgot, because it's not their cards. So, like, you just don't want to take the chance. Just take it with you to the bathroom, you know? This is America. We take our guns with us when we go places. It's an American thing. I'm Canadian. We got no... I'm not going to say we have no guns here. But, like, we're not gonna find any guns at the local game store, that's for sure. That's the most American thing I have ever. LOL. Local game store, local gun shop. Oh yeah. Maybe there can be some hybrid. Imagine a gun shop trying to get WPN status. You go there for your guns, and also it might be the safest. It might be the safest place to play Magic the Gathering. Who would want to steal your cards at the fucking gun store? Imagine that. Are there any gun stores that, like, host tournaments? Like, there are some sort of hybrid? Because there are hybrid, like, coffee shop local game stores. It's like it's not common, but it does happen. But maybe there is a gun store out there that also happens to be a local game store. Always put your things in your backpack and then go to the bathroom with it. I mean, that's basically what I do. The number one way you're going to lose your cards is someone stealing them. It's simple as that. They see, oh, someone left their cards on the table. Swipe, walk out of the store, that's it. And that happens very often. That happens very often. But someone coming into a store and, like, fighting you over your stuff, not likely to happen. I've never heard of it, actually. I've just straight up never heard of it. Because ideally, a bunch of other people will be in the store as well. And, well, anyway. And generally speaking, I think if someone wants to, like, rob, like, anyone, they would just rob the store, not the players. Because there's so much more risk, right? So they would just wait for the store to close down, and then they break in. And that happens as well. but I've never heard of, like, actual people getting robbed. Kai says, I wish Wizards of the Coast would allow bars or something to get WPN license. Having a drink while drafting sounds amazing. You know what, Kai? They recently relaxed rules so that they could do that. Like, I don't think a bar can strictly get a WPN status, but I do believe that a store is allowed to host a tournament in a bar now. Whereas in the past, you're, like, not allowed to have alcohol, period. I do believe that you are allowed to have alcohol, like, in an event. I don't know the rules though. Does anyone play in any events where you get to drink at the same time? Because there was something like, I don't know, 3 years, I want to say 2 to 3 years ago, they made some announcement that gave room to local game stores allowing to host an event in a bar or something like that. I don't know the specifics. But I know, like, before alcohol was, like, a huge no-no, and now it's, like, it's okay. My local game store sells alcoholic drinks, see? My local ooh, nice. So it maybe they can do something like this. Frederick says, our local game store is next to a bar, so we play in an other room and we have a drink. There we go. There is, it was a huge no-no at a time. Like, you cannot, a WPN status store absolutely cannot have alcohol in their tournaments. That can't be related. But, like, now it's like, maybe because they knew a bunch of stores were breaking the rules, that they relax it and say, hey, it's fine under the right conditions. Matt Schultz says, my local game store sells alcohol. Well, there you go. Okay, so maybe the bar can't become a local game store, but the local game store can become a bar. So you go talk to your local game store, get them the liquor license. But I mean, it might depend on the clientele. I don't know if they want to have, like, sell alcohol when there are minors there. Or underage, but I mean, it depends on the clientele. I mean, I went to a lot of local game stores. There's, like, no kids there, just none at all. So it's all fine. Anyway, you heard the music, and now you see the command. That means it's time for deck list review. So if you want to be eligible for deck list review, you go into my description, join my Discord. There's a link to my Discord. Join my Discord. Then there's a channel called Deck List Review. And then enter the command. Oh, hold on. We found... okay, so... yeah, okay. Anyway, go into my description. Join my Discord. Then there's a channel called Decklist Review. And enter the command, ! Review deck space. Give the URL to your deck list. And you'll be eligible at random to be chosen for deck list review. Both myself and the coffee crew. Let's go check out some deck lists. Now, Lord Magicus found some more of those altars. I'll share them with you in a second. So while I wait for people to submit deck lists, we got the Monastery Swiftspear. It gives me Swiftspear vibes. That's all I'm going to say. Haste and Prowess. And we have the Stormwing Entity. Was this Stormwing Entity was a bird this entire time? I never really paid attention to the Stormwing Entity. But the altar, like, are you looking for business altar artist? There are people that are into this stuff. I mean, here's your chance to plug yourself. I don't know if you're still here though. Kai, a huge fan of the Swiftspear. Look at that huge blade. Yeah, even the text here feels a little bit out of place. But I'm sure that's all fixable. I'm sure that's easier to fix than the art. It's all in the art, baby. Magic is already an unhealthy addiction. Why also add alcohol? And when why add guns on top of that? Oh my god. Imagine imagine the gun alcohol local game store. Imagine that can't happen, right? That can't happen. A gun store with a liquor license that also is a local game store. Man, that might be peak America right there. That sounds like a lot of things wrong. Alright. Yeah, the Magic Saloon. It's basically what it would turn into. It's a Magic Saloon. You never know what we're going to talk about on Coffee and MTG. You never know. You never know what's going to happen. Alright. Emrakul, you are the next contestant. Good Emrakul, your next contestant on Decklist review. And you are using the god-awful, just absolutely god-awful website, deckstats.net. What do we got here? We've got budget monogreen infect, in modern though. To add to your wisdom, if the store is being robbed by an armed criminal, I would not hesitate for a second to show the criminal the room temperature test. Okay. Yeah, but like if they're smart, they're not gonna rob it like when there's people in it. They'll wait for the store to close, as it usually happens. The stores are usually robbed not when it's full of people. It's when it's not full of people. Okay, we got the Forest, the Pendelhaven, the Rancor, the Blossoming Defense. This probably is, I'm just going to guess this should be 4x. Groundswell, Might of Old Crows, a Snakeskin Veil. Put a counter on your creature, it gains Hexproof. Like, this is better. I think this is better because it pumps it up more for, like, one big shot. This is just, like, I know it's a permanent +1/+1, but it's not like you're going to proactively use this, right? That's why this card doesn't really see plain Infect, usually. Vines of Vastwood become immense. Scale up, you should have 4 of those. Okay, we got Glistener Elf, Llanowar Augur, Sacrifice. See, we barely read, well, we can barely read the card. I guess they give us the text. I have a feeling the developers of the site, they're like, oh, fuck, we can't read the cards. They're blurry as hell. Okay, let's add some attachment that, like, it shows the card's name or whatever. So we got Llanowar Augur, sacrifice Llanowar Augur, target creature gets +3/+3 and gains trample until end of turn. Activate only during your upkeep. Oh god, that will be so bad. So you have to basically sack this in advance, and then in response your opponent could start playing removal. Maybe it's not that bad, but you have to commit yourself at your upkeep. No, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Blight Mamba, Infect, Ironclaw Mirror, Infect. Okay, so get rid of Blight Mamba. Sorry, not Blight. Get rid of Llanowar. Blight Mamba is good. Blight Mamba is good. This is it's a good snake. And Ironclaw Mirror is also good. Get rid of, you can make a pretty good deck, you know. I think that, yeah, we're going to definitely go up to 4 scale up. Let's go, definitely take out the Snakeskin Veil and 2 more Blossoming, put in 2 more Blossoming Defense. Probably 1 Become Immense is fine because you don't have, fetch lands. I have a, can't you play the... what is the non-basic land that gives a creature +3/+3? Or maybe I'm thinking of the wrong creature. Maybe what is like the castle? What's the green castle? Oh no, the green castle is useless to us. Mutagenic Growth maybe? I think Mutagenic Growth is money. This is a budget deck. The stupid prowess decks have pumped. Oh, it's not that bad. It's $3. Okay, let's talk about, but let's go with the mandatories. Take out Snakeskin Veil, add Blossoming Defense. Your spells are fine. Then we can take out Blight Mamba. I think ideally you play some Mana Dork, but I guess it's just not that necessary. Maybe, yeah, maybe a few Hashep Oasis is not too bad. I just hope it's not too expensive. Oh, Hashep Oasis. And by expensive, I mean you're gonna pay life, but it's pay 3, tap, sacrifice. This is not that bad. I might have 1 or 2 of these in the deck. I might have like 1 or 2 of these in the deck. I think that would be okay. Well, Blossom I don't think is the most beautiful in an Infect deck. Now, ideally, is there like another creature that we can play? That we have 12 Infectors is actually not too bad, though. Drop the snake for Ignoble. We can't afford Ignoble. This is a budget deck. Budget. We can't afford it. I think we need mana, though. But I'm not sure if we just play, like, Llanowar Elves or something. This pump, yeah, you're talking about, I think it's Invigorate, but it's only legal in Legacy. This is a Legacy card, and it's banned in Pauper. Holy crap! Yeah, it's not legal in Modern. Well, yeah, that's a lot of money. That's like $40. This whole deck here is like $10. I don't know. The most expensive card might be Rancor. It's money. Ignoble is $5? It's not that bad. You're right. It's $5. That's not too bad for the ugly version. If this price is true. Okay, we need another opinion. It's like it's market around $6. Oh, this one. It's tough. It's still a bit pricey. It's still a bit pricey, to be honest. It's a bit pricey. Cathedral of War? I'm not in love with this card. It's colorless mana, and almost none of this deck uses colorless, except for like Ironclaw and Blight Mamba. And everything else requires green mana. I don't know if the like when I want a mana dork, I just want the extra mana, because you're gonna live and die off of how much mana you have. Like how many ways can you defend and pump up your creature? Could always play Pete. Well, we need to add blue for that. This is just mono green. I don't mind the enter the battlefield tap part, but I do mind the colorless mana part. That's a problem. Ugly cards need play too. Well, I mean, it's not really $5 though. It's like a little bit higher. It's like $20 for a playset. Or it's probably going to be closer to $25, $30 for a playset. We have Groundswell in this deck. So, okay, hold on. What have we decided on? We're definitely taking 2 Snakeskin Veil become immense, and then we'll say 1 Llanowar Augur is a scale up, because this is like actually your best creature in the deck. And maybe you go up to 20. No, maybe 20 lands is close to fine. I sort of just want another creature or a mana dork. What about larger than life? +4. Is it cheap to cast? That's actually not bad. I like this card, actually. I like this card. It gives trample. That actually might be really relevant, because this deck doesn't have any evasion at all. Scale up, become immense. You know what? That suggestion is so good. We're gonna play 4 of them in the deck. That actually is a really good idea. We're gonna play 4 of these. So take out your Llanowar Augurs, play 4 larger than life, and then where do we get the last scale up? Maybe we play 3 Blossoming Defense, and with the last Snakeskin Veil it becomes a scale up. I actually like that a lot, because we need some way of pushing damage. And I think this is fine. Viridian Corruptor maybe can go in the sideboard. I think that's a good idea. What do we got for... So Haship Oasis is a stupid card to have in your sideboard. You should just be in the main deck. Cursed Totem is fine. Ground Seal is fine. Weather the Storm. You only have 7 cards in your sideboard. So I'm not going to go over everything you could do to change your sideboard. You should just probably have more copies of all these other ones. But also have 2... I would say 2 Viridian Corruptor in your sideboard. Just have extra creatures, so you don't have to mulligan so much. It is good that you have 12 infectors. That's fine. But anyway, I think that's... Oh, hold on. This is... Oh, these are possible cards. This is your actual... This is actually your sideboard. Grafdigger's Cage, Nature's Claim, Silent Gravestone, Veil of Summer, Apostle's Blessing, Collector Oof, Damping Sphere, Gaia's Blessing, 2 Voidmere. This is fine. I don't know. Why do you need Gaia's Blessing, though? To beat Mill? If you want to beat Mill, you could do it with probably Endurance, because you could just target yourself. So when your cards go to your graveyard, you play Endurance, target yourself, and put all your cards back into your deck. I think that might be better. Anyway, I think we gave a lot of feedback. Thank you for submitting the deck list. 2 Veil of Summer can change to Autumn's Veil for massive money savings. But, well, maybe they probably already have the Veil of Summer already. Unless we sell the Veil of Summers to buy other cards. That's a possibility, too. But I think the card draw is pretty important in fact, anyway. Cheppy. Congratulations, Cheppy. You're the next contestant on Decklist Review. And we got Stompy Hierarch. All right. Sounds like Mono Green Stompy. Sounds like Mono Green Stompy is not entirely cheap. Dryad Arbor, Hex Drinker, Ignoble Hierarch, Pelt Collector, Strangleroot Geist, Werewolf Pack Leader. Ooh, we're using the new cards. If you attack with creatures total power 6 or greater this combat, draw a card. And then until end of turn, you can turn this thing into a 5/3 for 4 mana. Ronus, the Indomitable Steel Leaf Champion. I like this. You know, I think more people should play with Steel Leaf Champion. I think this is an underplayed card. Oh, Endurance is not too budget. That's true. But you had it in your maybe board. But whatever. Okay, then you play with the Gaia's Blessing. You're welcome. Aspect of the Hydra. Blossoming Defense. Vines of the Vastwood. Dismember. 3 Rancor. I think you should have actually a lot more Dismembers in this particular metagame. We're in a metagame where you need to, like, kill everything on the spot. They play... Ragavan, you gotta kill it. They play Dragon Rage Chandler, you gotta kill it. So I actually might go super up on Dismember for your deck in this metagame. You got... You're actually pretty low. Oh no, you're not that low on mana because you're playing with the Ignoble Hierarch. And also this Dryad Arbor counts as a forest. Forest, Nurturing Peatland, Treetop Village, Verdant Catacombs, so the Heaths. Yavimaya Cradle of Growth is nice. So like if... because you can turn... How much is this? 11 bucks? Because your fetch lands turn into forests, basically. Tormod's Crypt, Relic, Shaper, Sanctuary, Veil, Damping Sphere, Voidmere, Choke, Force of Vigor. I would... honestly, yeah, 2 mono green decks. What are the odds? Where's my brother? He'll say, like, Vegas odds this, Vegas odds that. I would honestly just go up on Dismember in this deck. Maybe over even Vines of the Vastwood. Like, what do we cut? We could cut Vines. I don't really want to cut too many creatures. Maybe I'll cut 1 more Rancor. Maybe, and then maybe 3 Dismember is fine. You might have too much pump here. Like, this is a lot of pump spells. Feels as my duty to suggest Avatar the Resolute for the +1/+1 synergy. They probably removed it for the Werewolf Pack Leader. I have a feeling it used to be part of the deck somehow. New York Giant, or no, New York Gyrant. Later, y'alls. Don't leave your bazookas at home. Never know when you're gonna need it. You never know. Bring your nuclear weapons to the local game store. But yeah, I would highly recommend Dismember for this deck. And you don't take a lot. Well, you take some damage, I guess. But you don't take super damage because you don't have shock lands in the deck, so it won't be too bad. And actually, you can, well... Actually, if you have Dismember, maybe you can play... Yeah, let's see, you have... no, this is mostly green stuff. I was thinking maybe you should play 1 Urborg in your deck, but this is actually just so heavy on green. You can save a little bit of life with your Ignoble Hierarch, though. Collected Company? I don't know if this is the greatest collected company deck. It's got 28 creatures, but a lot of them are like fluff. Like Dryad Arbor is not a good hit. Ignoble Hierarch is not a great hit. Pelt Collector is not a great hit. I don't even think Hex Drinker is really that good of a hit. And then some of these are not even hittable. Questing Beast can't be touched, so I don't think this is actually the greatest collected company deck. Ronus and Questing Beast should be Endurance. I don't mind Questing Beast. What's wrong with Questing Beast? But you could have some Endurances instead of Ronus. I'm not terribly in love with these cards. Like, these depend on you targeting creatures and then they live, to be honest. Like, I know the classic Stompy decks played with these cards, but I honestly think that these cards make the deck a lot worse. Your best bet of like pushing through damage is just playing a bunch of like really, really good green creatures. Art loves the Ronus. Like, this is your best bet to make a creature stronger and push damage. Yeah, maybe this is like the way to get through evasion. Like, Questing Beast is evasion, and also Ronus gives creatures trample and can make them bigger. Wild Shape can give hexproof or trample if you need to clear through. I think we just I think we just attack with everything, and then whatever gets through, you just give it +2, +0. Why not Ghalta, though? Because you may not have enough. This is Modern. Like, in Modern, you may not. These creatures might all die, and then like Ghalta only gets cheaper if you're pending the creatures on the board. This spell gets X. This spell costs X less to cast, where X is the total power of creatures you control. But in Modern, everything is going to get sniped off. I play Ignoble Hierarch, it dies. I play Pelt Collector, it dies. I play Strangleroot, guys. Okay, that one's going to come back. Werewolf Pack Leader, it dies. So the deal is, how can we make... like, in my opinion, everything's going to die. I mean, that's just how it is with creature-based decks. So this will just get stuck in your hand most of the time. I think we have some fetch lands. We have Windswept Heath and we have Verdant Catacombs to get the Arbor Elf. So we got that covered. Bard class? This is red. And we are a mono green deck. How about Squirrel? It doesn't die. Which Squirrel? Hierarch seems weird in the curve. There's only 6 3-drops to play on 2. There's only 6. I mean, you have a point there. It's possible it's possible Ignoble Hierarch could be Aether Vial. As weird as that sounds. And I have seen Stompy decks play Aether Vial. Like, a lot of Stompy decks don't play Aether Vial because this was traditionally like a budget deck online. You played green Stompy because you just wanted to play some random modern deck that you could afford. But it's possible that this deck would lean itself much better as a Aether Vial deck. Oh, Toski the Squirrel. Toski is very expensive. I guess it's possible. It's possible. It's good card advantage, right? It's possible. If you can get some damage in. Whenever creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. This is a possibility. If I were to build the deck, honestly, I'd wipe this stuff out. I would not touch these cards. I would not play with them at all. And then maybe I would have some number of them. I would have more Dismembers. Like, I wouldn't even play Rancor. I think these cards are just bogus cards. Like, the only deck that sees pump spells is Infect. That's it. Nothing else. Because you are so blown out by, like, removal in Modern. It's not even funny. Nykthos is a liability. You know, honestly, it's a liability. Again, it's colorless mana unless your opponent is not killing any of your creatures. Spike had one. List with a lot of indestructible, which is good right now. Did he get 5-0 with any of them? Or how about I'll just look up Aspiring Spike Stompy and see what shows up. Actually, I don't want to be pulled away from here. Was it Eldrazi? Outstanding Stompy Ooze?
The energy's here.
Oh, come on, Spike. Why can't you...
Oops. Title. We're switching up decks. This is a mono green Stompy deck. I really, really love specifically the foundation of this deck, which is 16 lands, 4 Harvest, 4 Oath of Issa, 8 Hierarchs. I've really, really been liking this as like the mana base. And I've also liked the formula of only playing
back in the day when he was above on the trophies.
So if your opponent kills it for 1 mana, it's not that bad of an exchange. 4 creatures that are resilient to removal. Been liking this deck a lot.
I like the idea of playing with creatures that are resistant to removal. Although I don't know how good the Predatory Ooze will be. But at least if you can load up on more indestructible creatures. Toski, Predatory Ooze, Scavenging Ooze. Well, what was the 4th one? Was it Endurance? I don't think Endurance was that resistant. That Ooze deck slaps! Well, this is well, actually, this is not that much different than this thing. So how well did he do? Let's cheatsy on the...
Don't worry about it too much. Like, wait.
It looks like he's about to win this one.
I like the mono green deck. Again, I don't think that this deck is...
He got 4-1. He got 4-1 with this thing. So, if you are interested in a list, maybe go this direction. Because like I said over and over again, the biggest problem for decks like this is like you play a creature, it dies. You play a creature, it dies. You play a creature, it dies. So he is keeping with the pump spells like Aspect of Hydra, Rancor, because of all the indestructible creatures in the deck like Toski and Predatory Ooze. At the very least, Strangleroot Geist will it's not indestructible, but if it dies, it comes back. Hexproof Trolls? Is there a hexproof troll in here? I don't see it. But that actually is a very good idea. If we go the direction of more indestructible creatures, it can make up for... Like, in a deck like this, where you have nothing indestructible, I mean, Strangleroot Gust is your best card, I guess. Most resistant to removal. I don't like these cards. Like, I really don't like these cards, because you have never a good opportunity to play them. But if you fill the deck with indestructible creatures, then I guess you do have a lot of opportunity to play them. How about Lovestruck Beast? It's 2 creatures. Well, it's 2 creatures, but it can only attack if you have a 1/1 in play. So it has... it's vulnerable in that way. Well, I hope that's some stuff to think about. As is, I'd prefer to go up on Dismembers and down on all these things. But you could borrow a lot of really cool ideas from Aspiring Spike, who apparently went with 4-1 with a version of Mono Green Stompy, but it was much heavier on indestructible creatures in order to make it work. And that makes sense to me. I can see pump spells work in a world of indestructible creatures. All right, everyone, that's going to be it for Coffee and MTG for today. Thank you very much for joining the show, for participating. If I didn't get your comments, questions, or deck lists, hey, we do this Monday to Friday, 9 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. If you'd love to support the show, you can drop a sub at twitch.tv/NikachuMTG. You can become a patron at patreon.com/NikachuMTG. Or if you're on YouTube, you can hit the join button. So thank you very much, everyone, for supporting the channel, just making me a part of your daily routine. And you never know what we're going to talk about here on this morning magic show. Sometimes it's not always about magic. But we have great conversations every single day. So keep brewing up those coffees, coffee crew, and we'll keep